Well, as people are trickling in, first of all, I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining this. To be very frank and vulnerable for just a moment, we marketed this a little bit later than we wanted to, and the reason why that happened was because that template that you received in your email was something that we're going to be launching on Dubb pretty soon, which is this whole new library of templates, and we said, we need to practice what we preach. We need to, drink our own Kool-Aid. We need to go through the process of actually building a template, which has its pros and its cons, and we can get into that later. But we went through that process of basically using Dubb as a platform to build the template, to house the videos, to house the Zoom registration forms, and then ultimately to send that email campaign out. So thank you so much for being this part of this sort of meta process. And we promise to deliver in this webinar, give you really actionable tips on how to capture video testimonials, how to embed them, how to share them, include them in your entire funnel, your entire process. I have Paige here with me, and super, super fortunate to have her with me physically in our office in Los Angeles. Paige, please introduce yourself and explain what we're going to be getting through. We have an outline. It's going to be good, I promise.
Right on. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. So I was one of the sort of early adopters of Dubb, became kind of a power user. Ruben reached out to me. This is our first time meeting in person, which is exciting, you guys. So greetings from California. And what we're going to be talking about today is basically how to collect video testimonials, where to use them creatively, how they're really, truly one of your number one marketing assets that you could possibly have, how to automate the workflow of collecting those testimonials. And we're just going to dive in and share some examples and really get into helping you guys out.
Yeah, nice. Darius, Rob, anything that you'd like to add?
Well, just before we get started, where the outline is as follows. We're going to be talking a little bit about the why, like why testimonials are important and how they're going to be one of the more important aspects or assets in your business that's going to allow you to grow this year. So we're going to talk a little bit about the why, and then we're going to show specifically the how to collect these testimonials, a few different strategies for that. And then we're going to show the best distribution and sharing methods for those testimonials as well, so you can get the most out of them. They're really an evergreen piece of content that we can use in a multitude of ways. And so you guys will learn that here by the end of today's session.
Yeah. The thing that I always like to start with is, why are we doing this? What is the reason for capturing, for sharing, for making video testimonials a part of our entire sales process? And before I get into the why, I just want to put a question out there. It's a rhetorical question. Why don't more people do it? What is it about the video testimonial process that hasn't necessarily inspired people to want to integrate it into their entire system? Is it A, because they're not aware of how effective social proof is, how effective video testimonials are? Is it B, because technologically speaking, it's very challenging to capture and to share video testimonials? C, it's something that doesn't get prioritized. I actually do not know the answer as to why more people don't do it, but that's okay because we're here to solve that problem. The best way that I can explain how valuable video testimonials are is when we're at a barbecue, we're at a friend's house, we're at a social engagement, and we meet someone, and there might be some prospect of business, and then someone else jumps into the scene. It's a friend, it's a colleague, it's a client, and they say, you should talk to Paige, you should talk to this person, because she is absolutely the best at building automation and building funnels. She's the best. Like, you should talk to her. And the second that occurs, the second that engagement occurs where a third party validates someone in what they do, something absolutely magical happens. Number one, it shows that there's proof. Someone has realized results. Someone has gone through the vetting process, the direct or indirect vetting process of saying that this human being is the best at what she does. But number two, what's interesting is that it allows for an opportunity of humility. And I think that's what a lot of people aren't really talking about when they think about video testimonials, is that, that feeling you get when someone leaves a testimonial for you, when a video plays talking about how good your product or service is, and you feel that idea, that feeling of humility. That feeling of humility is so incredibly important in this process because it's what keeps us vulnerable. It's what keeps us down to earth. It's not the peacocking. It's not the bragging. It's not the, hey, I'm the best at this and you should talk to me because I'm so good at this. You don't want that, because what that does ultimately is the opposite of the intended desired action. It actually repels people. It makes people not want to work with you because it's all those things. Ego is a sin, right? We can get into that later. We don't want that. We want other people to validate this. So that's my quick take on the why of this. I'd love to hear from Paige, Rob, Darius, what's your take on this as to why we need video testimonials, Paige?
Yeah. Well, I'm curious if you feel like you have video testimonials right now. And if you don't, and you're thinking, man, I want to record them. Let me say this first and foremost. The more you can show up on video for people that you serve, the more willing they are to send you a video testimonial. So we're going to dive into how that looks, especially using the Dubb platform. But there's 3 fundamental things you have to do for people in order for them to believe, trust, and know that putting their credit card in for your services or your product is the right thing to do. Number 1 is what makes your unique approach, your methodology, or your framework unique. Number 2 is what are you doing out there in the world? What are your results for people? I kind of call it the outer world light bulbs. You have to turn those light bulbs on that you're actually making success. You're helping people be successful with what you offer. And the third one is the inner world light bulbs, which is basically the inner dialogue that a lot of people have right before they make that buying decision, which is like, I don't know, am I capable of this? Will this work for me? I've tried things in the past, that sort of thing. But that of the 3, one of the big ones is turning on this outer world light bulb, right? How does this actually work for people out there in the world? And the best way to share it is through other people's opinions. Think of the last thing you bought online. You probably read a review. And as we know about video, it conveys 95% more of a message than text alone. So if you can have video testimonials and then take portions of that and turn them into written testimonials, you are just so far ahead of all of the other businesses out there.
So true. I mean, talk about an instant way to get into the 5 percentile club. I mean, how many opportunities do we have to get into the 5 percentile of the people in our space? And one of them is leveraging video testimonials as your entire process. So thank you again for joining this webinar. Let's get really into it. Rob, there was some really great statistics that we were researching and that you did such a good job conveying on the power of social proof, the power of testimonials in terms of how many people need to see a video testimonial in order to make a purchase and how it affects conversion rates. So I'd love to open that up to you when you get some time, Rob.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is, with testimonials, 92% of people check out reviews before they even buy online. It's over 90%. And if you're doing a case study, if you have people out there that have used your product and services, and you have a case study with them, it improves sales anywhere from 70 to 185%. 70 to 185%. I mean, the numbers just speak for themselves. So I think anytime you can have a 3D version of someone speaking about how happy they are with your services, it's like the old expression, it's not what we say, it's what they say. And having that video out there, don't let the fact, and this is an important thing too, Ruben, you mentioned it at the top, why don't some people probably do this? When you think about synchronously meeting, let's say we met in Zoom and we're going to record something, sometimes if people don't have the time for that, the reply with video function, which we're going to talk about in a little bit with Dubb, is fantastic. Sending an asynchronous video, having them respond, and then you have that asset. So, and I think when you think about outbound efforts, when you think about outbound sales efforts, one of the biggest things that we do with Dubb is, and we're doing an outbound effort, what's one of the playlist videos that we have to play is right after when we're talking? It's testimonials. It's social proof. It's so other people can see in varying industries how important video is. So you've got to add it into your queue if you haven't already.
Nice.
Good deal. So let's see here. I tossed a little message in the chat as well as Paige. We'd like to, if anyone's having friction before we get started, we're going to get into the how now. If anyone has tried to do this before, has run into barriers or friction or the reasons why you haven't collected testimonials already, toss those into the chat. And I'm sure we're going to help overcome some of those obstacles along the way. Valerie, I got your message there and you're like, well, as a woman, I want to look good before we're going to go on video. And this is the same for everybody. Some people might not give a care and they just do their testimonial from their chin up or something. Probably not a great testimonial. So the better we give people instruction, the better testimonial we're going to receive, which we're going to jump into here. Ruben, any further notes before we jump into strategy 1?
No, I think that that's great. What I'd love to do just very quickly is just open it up to the room. Please put a 1 in the chat if you're already using video testimonials for your business. And please put the number 2 if you are not. Be brutally honest. The reason why we want to know that is we want to gauge what the current adoption is. And remember, only 5% of people actually do video testimonials. So if the number is 2, that's okay. It's no problem. Most of us do not. So one if you are using video testimonials, 2 if you're not. The other thing I just want to reiterate before we kick this thing off is, think about what Rob just mentioned. Rob, what did you say about how many people actually look at testimonials before they make a purchase? What was that?
Well, 92% of people check out reviews before they buy online.
Right.
So, and the reviews, the testimonials and case studies are part of the whole review process. So it's a very big number.
So let's think about that mathematically for a second. If we have 100 prospects, 92% of those prospects review testimonials before they continue to engage with someone. 92%, 92 of those people, which means if we don't have testimonials, our actual audience is only 8, because those are the people that don't necessarily need to review testimonials. So, rest assured, we're going to get into the 92% club, but then ultimately we're going to get into the 5% club of people that actually use video testimonials.
Good. All right. Well, I got your question there, Tom. Great question. And this is actually going to be one of the strategies we discussed today and the sort of difference between them. The first method I'm going to show you guys, this is actually utilizing the Dubb platform, probably one of the most simple of the methods we're going to talk about today. And it's just using our video reply feature. So this is just where you record a video. I'll show the whole process in a moment, where you're going to record a video for your client. And then below that video is going to have a button for them to collect a testimonial. Now, that's as simple as it is, but I'm going to go through a little strategy here that's going to help you get some extra results from this. The first thing is the best results are always achieved from one-to-one messaging. That's a big part of the success of video. When you say, hey, John, that creates that moment for the person on the other end where they get to hear their name. They know that this was special. If you're dealing with hundreds of transactions, it's probably not an option. If you're dealing with tens of transactions, then this is probably the route to go. So we're going to do something like this, where I'm going to record a video for John and I'm going to collect a testimonial. I'm going to say, hey, John, it was so great getting to work with you. If you could do me a huge favor, just click the button below to send me a story of what it was like to work with our team. Tell me the best parts. And in fact, after this, you're going to see in the playlist an example of another testimonial. Feel free to take a page out of their book and give me your best effort. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So something very generic like that. And you heard what I said in the script. The script is important because there's a few things there that we did. One is we told them sort of what we want them to say, right? We guided them in a direction. They're going to say, they're not just going to say, oh yeah, well, it was great except for this, right? We don't want the except. We just want, what were the best parts of working with my team? So the more content, the more direct you can give them, the better in that instruction. And then the other part of what you hear what I said in the script is in the playlist, there's going to be an example after this. And so right after your video in your playlist, this isn't the perfect example, but would be the example testimonial. So here, let me make one adjustment and then it'll make perfect sense. Now let me review this page. So now you can see, here's my request for a testimonial. Hey, John, and then right after the end of this video, it goes into the next one. And it's a perfect example of a testimonial from our buddy Jason. So this is an example of the one-to-one testimonial request. And again, if you're dealing with clients not at a super high volume, this is going to be one of the most effective ways to collect testimonials passively, right? They can watch and respond to this at any time. And using the guidelines that I've given you here, telling them what you'd like to hear, giving them sort of a script, and then actually giving them an example, these few little things are going to give people the best chance of responding with what you need. So this is the first method for collecting testimonials with Dubb. As I mentioned, it's sort of the most simplistic. You just have your button below with an example testimonial, and you say, hey, John, click below to give me your story. The elements required for this are a preset. If you guys are not familiar with the preset, come join me in a live training session. I'll get you taken care of, or search the articles here for a preset. And you're going to create one preset, and it's going to contain the button that says, give me a video testimonial, and the playlist video that's your example testimonial. And when you're wanting to collect a testimonial, you're just going to apply that preset to the video that you recorded.
So
Go ahead.
That's so powerful. Let's just think about that for just a moment here. You have a video where you're asking your existing clients to respond with a video testimonial. So this is an asynchronous experience. This is not meeting them in Zoom. Doing it in Zoom is another way to do this, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, right? So if you send a video, ask for a video reply, they can take their device and just simply record a video right on their device, which will get sent right back to you. You've captured your video testimonial, right? The hope here is that they have a good light source, their sound is decent. Remember, it doesn't need to be a movie production. The more authentic that testimonial is, the more effective it's going to be. If they look like a paid actor, it's not going to have that much efficacy. It needs to look like a real human being that's very casual, that's very honest, and saying that they had a great success story. So don't worry too much about the production value. Keep in mind, the more authentic it is, the higher converting of an asset it's going to be, right? So then you've captured your video. You've used the Dubb video reply function. You can Google it. You can go to support.dubb.com to do that. Come to our live trainings if you want to learn how to do that. Dubb.com/T as in training, 5 days a week, 10 a.m. Pacific. We are there and we will help you to do that. But once you captured your testimonial, now you can quickly send videos to your new prospects and have that video testimonial exist as the second video that plays after your message. So for example, if I were to be prospecting someone, I would say, hey, Darius, I would love to work with you. Here's the reasons why I'd be a good fit for you. And by the way, check out some of the testimonials for my existing clients. That video would automatically play on the video page and they can watch it. So we're not bragging. We're being humble. It's other people. It's that social proof thing, right? It's that barbecue thing where someone says this person's awesome. They watch the video, and then the chances of them actually clicking and converting are dramatically higher. You know, Rob, I think there was another statistic as to what the increase in conversion rate occurs as a result of a testimonial. Was it 30-something%, Rob? You can fact check that. But that was a great stat. I mean, imagine tripling your conversion rate just by having that video testimonial. So hopefully that was clear.
Yeah, it was like 35%. I think
35% increase in your conversion rates if you have a video testimonial. That's powerful. That's a 3x improvement.
One thing I want to touch on before we move on from what to ask when you request a testimonial is that if you're too open-ended on occasions, do you guys ever feel like somebody be asking you for a video testimonial and you just blank on what to say? Darius showed an excellent example of actually showing off a prime testimonial that you have if you want them to model that. Mm-hmm. What if you don't have one of those? I have a very simple before, during, after framework. So 3 questions. If you guys are ready, just write this down. Before, during, after. Where were you at in your business before we started working together, right? What was going on for you? Just describe that, please. What happened when we worked together during? What were some things that you learned from me? What were some things that were your big takeaways? What were some of the accomplishments that we achieved when working together, or fix this up or however it makes sense for your service? And then after, this one's a big one. Where do you foresee yourself taking what we've done together and moving forward? So it's really future casting for the end user. And I find that you don't often need to ask someone and, let them know if you would recommend my services, because typically after someone goes through before, during, after, they tend to say that naturally anyway, if they feel wholehearted about recommending your services. Absolutely. Is that helpful?
That's perfect. Thank you. And this was more like a service, but like if you're even in real estate or something, the same exact rules apply. Where were you before? We needed a home. What happened during? We got the home. Where are you after? We're going to recommend her to get people homes. So it's the same situation regardless of the product or service. That framework will be a great set of questions to capture that testimonial.
Yeah. When you think about what might come out after too, it's where are you going to take this she's my go-to, he's my go-to real estate agent and we forget about some of the intangibles because we absolutely loved the process. It was easy. It felt good, right? We're all looking for these. The other thing I'll say about testimonials is don't anticipate that it has to sound a certain way. for it to connect with your direct audience in a beautiful way, right? Some people are looking for the more emotional tie-ins. Some people are looking for the ROI in those testimonials. So, but that should be helpful framework just before, during, after, to keep it simple.
Nice.
Absolutely. Okay, one other thing here I got to show you guys about the tech itself, which is when you click this reply with video button, this is really important because this is where the technology is making this easy. The person does not need to download or sign up or install or do anything to access this. The only thing they need is a camera in front of them and to click allow access to the camera. So this is really important because, we're not having them do anything complex and sign up emails or anything like that. They can literally just click that button just like this. There will be a permission request for their camera, and then that's it. And then they can record and send this to you. And then once this has been recorded and sent, it's going to be automatically stored and housed within your video library under the video replies section. We'll come back to this section here at the end when we're talking about how to share and distribute, how to leverage these video testimonials. That's going to be part 2. We're going to come back to this in just a bit. But we are, Ruben, any other note here on part 1? We're going to talk about part 2, which is the automated collection of these.
Yeah, what I want to do again is to express gratitude. I just want to take a little gratitude break here. They say start with gratitude, but I say start with gratitude, go midway with gratitude, and end with gratitude, because gratitude is what brings us everything. And it's so important to express your gratitude in the community and your clients and the people that you're working with and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to express my gratitude to Mr. Jay Skinner, because Jay, you actually helped me a lot with evolving this technology. If you recall that, Jay, you helped me evolve this video replay technology. I remember when you initially subscribed to Dubb and you said, hey, listen, I'm not the tech genius of the century, because none of us are, but there's some improvements that I might recommend. And I absolutely wanted to just remind you that I really appreciate your feedback on evolving this technology, because it's become better. And with feedback, this technology can become better. We don't know everything. We can't see everything. We need to know what use cases are, what are some of the things that are taking place so that we can improve. So I just wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude, Jay, to you, to the community, but then also to remind people we're not geniuses with all perspective here. We need to receive feedback. That's how we're evolving the technology. That's how we're evolving the process. So please feel free on all channels. Ruben@dubb.com is my personal email. Please email us, or support@dubb.com, Paige, Darius, Rob, anyone you need to email. And please let us know if we can improve certain things, because we're very, very, very willing.
You're welcome, Ruben.
I was going to say, speaking of improvement, one of the... Sorry, Jay. Go ahead, buddy.
I was just saying that for the benefit of anyone listening here, you guys were receptive, and I was not easy because I was critical about certain things, and this was months and months and months ago. But you worked with me, and we went through some improvement processes for the user experience that ultimately meant that I was able to have some good video testimonials on my website as a result of it. So you're welcome, and thank you for working with me.
Yeah. And Jay, if you could please share your website URL in the chat. I'd love to socialize what you do and your services, and also show people a great example of how video testimonials are being embedded onto a web page, which is exactly in one of our outline items.
Will do. I'll put the link that goes straight to the testimonial page.
Nice.
And if anyone wants to share what they do, their website, their LinkedIn URL, this is a community. We're all equals here. Please feel free to share it in the chat. Let's get to know each other. Let's connect with one another on LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever social channels you have. Maybe pick one or two, and let's build community here. That looks amazing. Whatever's on Paige's, we have to show that, because that's a lot of colors right there.
Would you guys like me to show you some of the ways I'm using the video testimonials and collecting them?
Yeah.
Because we all know people get busy. So I'm going to reiterate here what has been said is that Ruben, Darius, these guys at Dubb, they make changes faster than a lot of software companies based on the feedback from the community. So one of the things I was telling them early on was, I want to know when someone actually submits that video so that I can stop following up with them and pestering them or reward them and be able to close the loop. So,
and actually that was a question by John. John, thank you so much for that question. The question is so valid. It takes about 6 times to get a video testimonial from someone, even if they love us, even if they sing our praises and they announce us at barbecues. The second that we ask for someone to be on video, it's a whole different realm. So yes, it takes a lot of touch points to actually, quote unquote, close a deal to get that video testimonial captured and recorded. So don't be afraid to ask again 6 times. Do it tactfully, do it gracefully. Godiva chocolates is a great, softener. So.
Okay, so I'll show you what I'm looking at here, what I'm working with. So first things first, you can do all of this manually. What Darius just showed you is that you can hit record on a video. It goes onto an instant landing page. You can click a button to add a call to action button that says video reply. People can record it without a Dubb account. You guys, mind-blowing technology. If you wanted to automate the request for testimonials, this is just an example of kind of how I'm doing this. And you'll see, this is email number 1. Will you share your experience? And then I have an if-then branch. You guys see my big green, like little Mickey Mouse hand as my mouse? Thank you. That's this if-then branch says, was a video actually received? And if it was, let's remove the tag that has triggered this. We no longer are requesting it. We've actually received it. So you see it removes the request, adds the received. And if they haven't, it just delays 2 days. By the way, I wanted to remind you, your testimonial goes a long way. A couple of the things that I use, sort of key components to urge people to encourage them to submit a testimonial is, this is for helping other people. So it's that pay it forward feeling, which can help people to go, oh yeah, I want more people to be served by this. It's not just about what you need from me. It's about doing a greater good in the world. And then the other one, quite frankly, is I actually put a little form on my landing pages, this little trade secret. And I ask for their updated mailing address so that I can actually send them a little gift. I'm not bribing 5-star reviews, but I am encouraging them and kind of showing them that it's this win-win, it's this give and give kind of thing. So that's it. And this goes through the exact same thing. If 2 days go by, I send them the next reminder, they don't do it again. It checks if then, did they video reply? And these branches, you guys, all of this can be just clicked and simply put together. Don't get overwhelmed if this all looks way too techy for you, because you don't need to start here. I actually wanted to show you some of the other tabs I have. The important thing is understanding how powerful these videos are, and stop me if I'm going too far, but this is an example of a video here with Michelle, a testimonial of working together with us. And you can see all the statistics of people opening and watching these. You can see how much people stay engaged versus just videos of me talking about things. Look at how people just keep watching. Look at the watch rate, 78%, the CTA click rates. If you guys aren't familiar with the average click rate, I mean, that's probably 4 or 5 times. Yeah, 3% I'm seeing from Darius's hands. We've got reaction rates, about 5% of people are clicking on the emojis.
3% is the industry average click rate, and we're seeing a 21%. Mm-hmm. So what's the math on that, Darius?
7x.
7x. Even our email click rates, I think probably 1 to 2%, maybe 3% is pretty average. That's looking really good. Watch rates is incredibly high. And so my point is, well, where is this video and where is it tucked in? It's also tucked into my automation for prospecting. So if I have a brand new lead in my system, then I am bringing them into the fold of telling them stories about why I position my services the way that I do, and the ones that get really, really high open rates. Let's get some zoom in here. The higher open rates all have to do with testimonials. So this is that, stop yourself. This is that Michelle landed 31K contract. So Michelle submitted this video, and I wanted to pull up what it looks like when someone submits a video reply. I get an email in my Gmail inbox that looks something like this, because I just got one the other day. You have received a video reply, and all of this is happening automatically through Dubb, you guys. This is amazing. And I can now go in here and I can add this new testimonial into any of my sequences. I can share it on social media. And I know we're going to get deeper into where to share these.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to just at least kind of bring that full circle, is that I wanted to show you the email campaign. So you have the actual email, the video itself as a testimonial, and what it looks like to build compelling copy in order to get people to actually click, watch, and then take the next step of the process. So I think I could keep going deeper, but I'm going to kind of like stop. That was
amazing. I would say this, that it takes either time or money to do this correctly. So let's just take a quick pause here to figure out how we want to do this. Maybe some of us are sold on this process. Hopefully you are. Maybe you realize, you know what, I need to do a better job of capturing video testimonials from my existing clients and then figuring out ways to share them with my prospects to increase my conversion rates. Hopefully you're thinking that by now. But the most important thing that we need to think about is execution. How can we actually go and activate all of this stuff? The last thing we want you to do is to feel that serotonin, that dopamine right now that we get at sessions like this. But then after 48 hours, it sort of fizzles away and nothing happens. We don't want that. We want to be here as your guiding light, as your accountability partner. So you really have to take a moment to figure out, what do I want to do? Do I want to invest in someone to help me build this? Or B, do I want to figure out how to do this myself? Both are very viable options, okay? And I would just say, Paige, if you could share your link to your program in the chat, I think people should know about it, because if you need someone to give you some white glove, that's a pun intended since your mouse key is a white glove.
It's a green Mickey Mouse hand. I just want it to be obvious.
Yeah. You know, if you need someone to help you, work with Paige. She will help build all of this stuff with you, for you, depending on how you kind of work it out. Or if you want to do this yourselves, which I respect, meet Darius and Rob and I in the daily trainings, dubb.com/T, and figure out how to do this stuff yourself. Some people are much better off outsourcing, delegating, figuring out ways for other professionals to figure out how to do this stuff themselves. And some people are like, I want to do this myself. It's really up to you. So hopefully that's clear. If there's any confusion whatsoever, please put it in the chat. Thank you so much. We'll move on to the next one if that's okay.
Okay, guys. So that was strategy 2 on how to collect testimonials. The first method I showed you guys was the manual sort of one-to-one method. The second method Paige just covered was doing the same thing, but through automation. So instead of you creating a video and you say, hey, John, send the video to John, wait for John's response, it's a different workflow where you're going to take the contact and you add them into that sequence that you saw in Paige show. And then it's going to send them messages automatically based on their activity. So that's the difference between a manual one-to-one request and building a workflow where I'm just going to drop people in here. Remember the example I gave earlier is if you have hundreds of transactions, that's kind of the only option for you, I imagine. You're not going to have the bandwidth to send hundreds of requests, but you can take 100 people and put them into a workflow instantly and collect 100 testimonials potentially. So the third method we're going to talk about today, this is probably the most manual, time-consuming of them. However, it can be used to probably get one of the better testimonials because you're going to actually be there with the person. It's what we're doing right now. We're in Zoom. This is the more traditional maybe method of collecting testimonials in this virtual world. So this is where you're going to schedule a one-to-one Zoom meeting with your client, and you're going to hopefully be prepared with either those series of questions or some prompts and guidelines to sort of get the client to say what you'd like them to say. That's the general purpose of the Zoom meeting. You're going to record that session. If you have a video editor, or you can even do some trimming on Dubb, or if there needs to be trimming. But that is essentially the third method, is using a platform like Zoom or Microsoft Teams or something like that. You're recording this live session, and then you're going to upload this recording to Dubb. Now, the benefit of this is you get to talk to somebody and say, oh, that was good, except can you just say that again, but leave that part out or whatever. You really get to go back and rehearse and back and forth with them like you're the director. That's the benefit. The downside of it is it's very time consuming. You're going to be there with that person in that time. It's not asynchronous, so you have to really make sure you both are available for that. And I think that's probably the only downside. It's just more time consuming, and it requires you to actually be there in the moment. And of course, it's not scalable. We're talking about the hundreds of transaction situation. That's simply not achievable. Hopefully, you just go after your very best client and get that one testimonial versus trying to achieve a larger number. So that third methodology only requires a Zoom or something like that, a synchronous meeting platform first. Zoom's free. And then you could take that recording, and then the next part that's where you're going to upload it to Dubb. And then that's actually where the next part of our presentation comes in, which is going to be how to share and distribute these. But before we just move on to the second part, the sharing, tracking, how to use these testimonials, any questions that we have on the first part on how to capture these, whether it's the one-to-one through the automation or through the sort of Zoom manual effort. If you guys have anything, drop it into the chat, drop it into the Q&A, and we're going to make sure everyone gets addressed here, whether we're following up with emails after or the time we have at the end of the Zoom. But I want to make sure everyone's gets taken care of either here or immediately after. So,
Darius, can I add on to that a little bit?
Absolutely.
So I really love this notion of doing Zoom testimonials and interviewing people exactly for the reasons that you said. And I want to maybe shift some perspective for people as well. If you are already in the practice of getting people on Zoom for a consulting call, let's say you have sort of a end of the project call already scheduled, let your client know right before you go into that call, hey, I would love to take the last 10 minutes of this call that we have regularly scheduled, and I would love to get your feedback on working together. That way you don't have to schedule a separate call. You already get it, but you've given them enough fair warning that you don't get to the end of that meeting and they go, oh, my hair is a mess, right? They come knowing that that's what you wanted from them. Another little thing you can do is you can position it. So what I've done before in the past is I said, hey, at the tail end of our meeting, we're going to do about 10-minute interview style. And we're going to spend the 5 minutes where I interview you and you talk about my services. I'm going to spend 5 minutes actually interviewing you and positioning you as the expert. And I'll give you that little clip. You can share it on your social media. So that can be really helpful as well to just get it all done at the same time. And then just a reminder, because I don't think people might not connect the dots, is once you have that video that's recorded on your computer or in the cloud from Zoom and you upload it into Dubb, any video you upload into the Dubb platform has its own landing pages, which means you can add your own call to action buttons. It's so powerful. So I just wanted to make sure that that was reinforced.
Absolutely. And this is where we're coming into the second part of how we're actually going to use these testimonials, because there are more applications than we're going to cover today. We can say that. We'll cover all the important ones, but there's definitely going to be more even beyond the scope. So, all right.
I had a quick question for Rob. So Rob, one of the things that I think that we'd love to learn from you is when you've met folks in Zoom to capture a video testimonial, it's really because of how detailed and specific your questions are with respect to before and after and statistics and what the deltas and improvements are. They're more than video testimonials. They're actually case studies. So on the Dubb website, maybe if you could share the two links, we have a testimonials page, but then we also have a case studies page. And that case studies page is what really gives data, and it's the before, after, and it's a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. So case studies is definitely a lot more, it's a lot more than a video testimonial. It has to be developed and data driven. But Rob, I'd love to open up the mic to you and just basically ask you, what is that process like to meet with someone to capture those data points?
Well, one of the biggest things is, you're getting someone's story. People want to tell their story, and people can relate to stories, whether they're in a separate industry, the same industry. We can all relate to someone starting in one spot and ending up in another spot. And the fact that you can come to that meeting with a preloaded set of questions that you're going to ask, where you're like, look, I know in my mind, when I know someone's going to watch this case study, what's the most effective question I can ask? So it can lead right into that answer, where when someone dives into that case study, wow, those are really powerful points. I can relate that to my business or my team or whatever I'm doing on my side. So I think the fun part about doing a case study when you interview someone, talk with someone, is it can go down areas you might not even expect, and you get a wonderful soundbite. So, that's kind of like when you're filming something and you may be scripted, but something just impromptu comes up, and it's a wonderful back and forth that you can have when you're smiling and enjoying the conversation. And it's just a really nice piece. So the testimonial part can be that little, oh, you're excited, that little nugget. But when you actually dive into a case study, you get the full scope of the experience. So, and it's something that the person on the other end, when they have that experience, wow, what an amazing time sitting down. You really care about my journey. You care about the exact steps that I took, and you actually gave some really good advice in terms of where you're going in the future. So it's a whole encapsulated experience. It's great to share.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah. And don't forget to ask for those specific numbers. For us, it's how much have your email clicks increased? How much has your engagement increased? What percentage more bookings are you getting as a result of this? How much has your sales increased as a result of using Dubb? We ask these very specific questions because without those, we cannot build a case study. And without the data, frankly, it feels good and it's soft, but it doesn't really drive home what the true sort of results and efficacy can be. So don't be afraid to be data-driven here.
Okay, guys, so we've covered the why, right? Everyone now understands why we want testimonials for our business. The how, we just covered 3 different strategies for how to collect testimonials for our business: the manual effort, the automated effort, and then the sort of in-person live effort. Well, semi-in-person in Zoom. There's that 4th strategy where, you have a full production and you're going with a tripod and setting up in person and all that stuff. We're not covering those methods here today. We're all in the digital world for these trainings. So that's the first 2 parts here, guys. Now we're ready to talk about what to actually do with these testimonials once you've collected them. And there's going to be a number of options, and it will be dependent upon your business and how you're marketing it. But it's essentially, from a high level, it's going to be every single channel that you communicate with your clients and prospective clients on. That's how we're going to share these videos: through email, through social, through your website, through every single channel. So let's actually get into the top of the sales cycle here, prospecting, right? Paige actually showed in her templates and her sort of lead generation prospecting presets, or her workflows. That's where she's leveraging her social proof. She's leveraging her testimonials in the business development. So when you think about a commercial, very sort of standard format, like as seen on TV commercial, they've been around forever and the format hasn't changed. Hey, here's this amazing product. Here's the testimonials of people saying how amazing this product is. So that same psychology is the thing that we need to apply to our messaging as well. Don't take our word for it, how awesome it is. Hey, check out this product and then see how people just like yourselves are succeeding with it. Product, service, sort of interchangeable there. So that's at the very first touch point, everyone you're reaching out to. Let's actually get a little more specific, like industry. You're in professional services. You're in real estate, mortgage, insurance, any of those things. You get a lead that comes in. What should the very first thing that lead see? I mean, if they can get them on the phone, great. If you can get them in person, great. If you can't, they should receive a video message from you saying, hey, wanted to put a face to the name, let you know more about my business and how I'm personally going to take care of you with this really important transaction. And in fact, hear from some of my other clients about how I've helped them through this process as well. So that is an exactly perfect place for everyone in professional services where a testimonial video should belong, which is the very first touch point for a new contact. So just as an example, right at the very top of the funnel, that is a perfect application for your testimonials. Let's talk about another application. If anyone's doing advertising, if anyone actually goes and sees advertising on Facebook, on Google, how often are those testimonials? Quite often. I've seen a ton of advertisements that are saying, hey, I use this software, I use this service, this product, this thing, and achieve this amazing result, and I'm just like you. Like, that's a powerful advertisement in a standalone thing. So if you're doing any form of advertising, testimonials are extremely powerful there. So in your email prospecting, lead nurturing, sort of top of your sales funnel, this is the most common application for your social proof. So whether you're doing one-to-one outreach, or you have sequences like we showed here, or you're even doing some sort of mass outreach, this is an opportunity to place testimonials in front of your clients. So that's the sales aspect of it. There's still going to be the marketing, the website, several others. Who wants to go next? Paige, you want to share a methodology of where we can share our testimonials?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to. So yeah, I've got a couple of things here I can share my screen with. I'm such a visual learner. Anybody else?
Right.
All right. Let me share my Google Chrome here. So obviously in emails that are going out, automated in bulk, in batches, as soon as you receive a new testimonial, it's a great idea to just send it off to your email list. Then another thing I was going to show off was in your email signature itself. Your review helps me grow. You can see this here. If you see me hover over clicking here, see how it's a .dubb.com link, and this will help people send me a review as well. So this just links over to a Dubb video. that I shot in the dark, you guys. If you're looking for things to be perfect, then you're not getting things done. Okay.
Don't do that.
I can always replace this video and the link stays the same. That's a powerful feature of the platform. And you can see I've got leave us a video reply or leave us a review on Google. A little bonus hack. Google reviews are so profoundly important is actually, if you have people, as you're serving your audience, you probably are going to understand that some people are just never going to hit record, right?
Yeah.
Aim for the video reply, because also what you can do is you can transcribe what somebody says to you. You can take their best soundbite, type it out for them, or use an auto transcription tool and copy and paste it, email it back to them and say, hey, Ryan, you said this, and you show Ryan his own quote that he sent you in a video testimonial. Can you copy and paste it and share it on my Google business page? That can be a really powerful kind of bonus tip. If you're not sure where to find that, go Google your own business, go click on your Google reviews, go to this box that says click more reviews, copy this link, and it'll take them directly to writing you a review. And if you've already written up their written testimonial from the video, you're that much further ahead, and they'll copy and paste it and put it there. So this is something I'm saying that I now need to go back to all of my old testimonials and grab a soundbite, copy and paste it and send it there, because that's just free traffic from Google. The next place I wanted to show you guys was the Dubb showcases. So oftentimes when I'm talking to prospects or they're in my prospect automation sequence, they'll land on a page that also says see our success stories, and it links a Dubb button to a Dubb showcase. If you guys haven't seen these yet, this is an example of what this showcase looks like. Totally built on Dubb. Only took me 5 minutes to put this page together. And you can see it's actually a gallery of testimonials that they can play through. They could even search through. I could add more. You can add it just by tagging all of your videos as testimonials. And you can just say, include every video that's ever tagged testimonial on this showcase page. So if you're not using this, this is also a really great way that you can share things in the process of going through your buyer journey with brand new prospects.
Awesome. So that's a couple of strategies right there as well. That was email that you guys saw first, that she actually showcased for us first with the beautiful template and the copy and stuff she had written there. Emails. So that's both for prospecting, business development, nurturing. So if anyone, again, is in your professional services of any kind, real estate, mortgage, insurance, coaching, consulting, if you're talking to people, your business is based on building relationships and helping people, then this is where videos need to go, in your lead nurturing and in your prospecting sequences. She also showed on the website. So if you guys have your own website, there's a whole multitude of ways to embed videos on your own websites, including these testimonials. But it could also be other videos like testimonials, case studies, explainers. Just a really quick view. There's multiple embedding options on Dubb. She just showed this showcase feature, which is this full page takeover where you can showcase all of those elements at once. You can see mine for our tutorial videos. Or it can be a widget style video like this, where they can sort of have a greeter, your testimonial video, greet them on that landing page or website, or you have your standard one. And then also with these, at the end of your videos, you're going to get your button displayed on top of that to have them go book a meeting with you or whatever you want them to do. So that's the second, is the website showcasing there. Outreach, nurturing, websites. And then there's a last piece here, which is going to be for social media. Again, this is every single industry. If you're in sales, if you're in professional services, a lot of us say, I'm a real estate agent. Is that sales? Yes. If you're a mortgage professional, is that sales? Yes. If you're talking to people, making deals, it's sales. Technically, it's not doesn't have to be any sort of negative connotation. If you're doing sales, you should be posting on social. We should be putting ourselves out there to generate as much leads and as much impact as we can. And again, testimonials are a perfect place. That's a perfect social post. Hey guys, I wanted to share a recent success story from some of our clients. And then someone out there is going to have that light bulb moment Paige was talking about and saying, hey, wow, that's us. This is a success story that we need. I want to be that person. Yeah. So social media is that other third channel that is much underutilized, right? Much like video itself is underutilized. Social media is definitely underutilized. You have your powerhouse producers out there that are crushing it because they are doing what they're supposed to. And we want to be in that percentage of people. So
Darius, can I add something to that?
Oh, always.
Okay, so you've got your YouTube videos, your Facebook posts, your Instagram, your TikToks, whatever where you're sharing these video testimonials, okay? But you can also put them places that are going to live just a little bit longer. So I want to share with you really quickly. This is my LinkedIn profile, okay? And on the LinkedIn profile, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can actually feature Dubb video links for the animation. You guys see my hands waving? And this right here, Kismet testimonial from Ashley at Fungi House. So you can put your testimonials in a really interactive way in your profiles themselves. So I want to share that.
Super cool.
Think about this. Are you guys seeing the power in how to capture your video testimonials and then share them across all these channels? I mean, all of us have channels. There's LinkedIn, there's advertisements, there's emails, there's our website. I can't think of a place where you can't put a video testimonial. Even for the folks in the room that do print advertising, you can create a QR code on any video within the Dubb platform and print that QR code so that if you have a flyer or a billboard or a poster of some sort, watch our video testimonials. And then it's a QR code. Someone can quickly scan that and watch them. There's no place where you can't do your video testimonials. So I just want to encourage everybody to think about what are your existing channels and then how to integrate this idea of social proof into those things so that you can get that 3 to 7x increase on your conversions. Remember, a lot of us think, hey, I need more leads. I need better leads, right? I need more leads. Hey, what about the existing leads that you already have? How about we focus on those folks that have been through the process, that have been nurtured and educated and know you? They're not strangers. They're not ghosts. They're not cold. They're actually warm. Let's figure out ways to actually convert those folks. And video testimonials is a great way to do it. Another sort of pro tip that I wanted to recommend for everyone is get the Dubb Zoom app. Chances are you're going to meet with a prospect in Zoom or something similar, and you're going to want to convince them and persuade them that you are the right person for them to work with. So it goes back to that thing. It's not what we say, it's what other people say. So for example, with the Dubb Zoom app, all I have to do is click one button, authenticate it. It links my Zoom account to my Dubb account, and I can click one button like this, and all of a sudden, I'm playing a video testimonial.
Welcome to Dubb. There's a reason why you're here. You're first.
Right. So right at the end of this video, you can see all of our... Here, you know what I'll do is I'm just going to let this roll so you can see this is very short, but you can see how authentic we keep our testimonials.
For that, see what our clients are saying about Dubb.
Dubb has allowed me the freedom to create personalized video messages from my mobile or my desktop with just a couple of clicks and incorporate.
Oh, they just dropped off. Anyway. That's the world of the internet. I was like, what happened? Anyway, so this is a really great question about the image release thing. Now, if you guys are sending out a large volume of this, you want as much context around that message as you can. Obviously, if you're saying, hey, do me a favor, leave me a testimonial video below, then that is going to be used for your own intents and purposes. So I don't believe it's going to be, you need a legal release form or anything like that. If you've given consent through the request, but there might be, this is probably a question for a lawyer. I'm going to have to look that one up a little bit further. Not something that I've heard of up until now, and not something I've seen before. I've seen other testimonial collection softwares as well. Like the whole thing is about that, and it doesn't include a consent, but everything's constantly changing, right? Regulations, and with text messages, they're asking you to put that, reply stop to get out and things like that. So normally, as I mentioned, like if you're saying, hey, John, send me a testimonial, I don't believe that's going to have any sort of risk there. But you depending on your own clientele, you may consider adding a message like that. Obviously, if we're reaching out to Dubb customers, we're not going to be doing that. But I'm trying to think of where, like you said, yeah, if you're corporate or federal, if the client you're dealing with has some sort of NDA or, something like that in place, then that's going to be per case basis. Okay. So what we covered in today's session, guys, was everything we promised, right? How to create the videos, or how to collect the testimonials, why they're important, and then of course, how to actually share these, several strategies for how to share them, whether it's one-to-one, one-to-many, through social, text, email, you name it. And my other promise here was, if you guys have any questions right now, that one question about the legal thing, don't lock me in on that one. I got to do my further research before I have 100% answer. But if there's anything else, I'd love to make sure you guys are either taken care of now, or that we can come to another live training. You know, we host these things every single day, 10 a.m. Pacific, and I'm more than happy to provide any support and follow up from there. Here's our friends. Let us back in more.
I just wanted to let you guys know, next week we're going to be hosting a webinar on how to actually plug in your laptop charger when you're hosting a webinar. It's a very important topic.
Yeah, that wasn't a Dubb Zoom app crash. That was I forgot to plug it in.
Ruben forgot to plug the charger in. Sorry about that, guys. But you get the point. With the Dubb Zoom app, you can play a video in your Zoom meetings. And think about how powerful that is, because it says a lot of the things that we mentioned were passive ways for people to watch your webinars, like clicking in your email signature, like clicking on a playlist video, like clicking on a video embedded on your website. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we need to be active. Sometimes we need to actually do the effort to say, hey, by the way, here's what our existing clients have to say about this. Mm-hmm. And then if we're in a Zoom meeting, click one button and we play that video.
There was one other follow-up question there. Is Dubb ACA compliant? So like HIPAA, ACA, Dubb is not to be used to transmit any personally identifiable information. So if you're in the medical space or transmitting any sort of personally identifiable information, Dubb is not to be used to transmit that sort of information. So as long as you're not transmitting that type of information, of course, you can communicate with anyone you need to, but not that information.
Yeah.
Good question.
And we're not attorneys, so we can't give legal advice on.
Right.
So my mom wanted me to go to law school, but that didn't work out.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people tell me I should be a lawyer, but that's usually not in a good context. I won't stop talking or something.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's see here, guys. You know the drill. If anyone needs more support after this, Ina, can you put the link in the training? Every single weekday, 10 a.m. You're welcome to 10 a.m. Pacific. Come back, talk to us with follow-ups, feedback. Say, hey, I got some issues collecting testimonials, or I need some help with this workflow. Literally, whatever you guys need. It's a session just like this, except for we'll, let your microphones on, and it's usually a smaller group, not quite 20 people, usually 10 or less. So anyway, that's it, guys. If you need anything else, we're always here. Appreciate you and happy hunting on collecting your testimonials there. And the sooner the better, right? Let's make 2023 the year you make this happen. So
would any brave souls want to turn on their mics and cameras and ask us questions? We're here for a couple of minutes, just about 3 minutes until 2:30. So we're ready and willing if people have specific questions. You see the training link in the Zoom chat right over here on the right. Also, don't forget to check out Paige's website. If you could just give a plug for that, Paige.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Kismet, KISMET, kismetideas.com. Would love to help anyone out. I have a training actually that's only inside of my mastermind program, but it's about next boarding automations and what to think about when you structure a request for testimonial automation sequence. Happy to take that little isolated lesson and send it your way if you want it, just for being here today. So
that's a great offer right there. So I encourage you guys to do that.
I just want to see more people out there and doing it.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, if anyone wants that course, that piece of education right there, please put one in the chat and then Paige can send that to you.
AI.
Ooh, this is a good question right here. Is Dubb working on any new AI ideas to communicate with us?
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you asked that, Dwayne.
There's lots in the cooking.
Yeah,
in the kitchen cooking.
There is a whole AI suite that I'm getting very close to launching. It's please. We have a Ina, could you please share the link to that to the upcoming webinar that we have on AI, please? It's a Zoom link. It should be in the email that we sent. So go check your email. And Darius and I are going to be doing this, and it's going to be really exciting. I'll just give a little teaser on that. It's AI can be used for content development, like script writing, outline writing, things like this. AI can be used to take text and then turn it into content. text to video, and then AI can be used to do better customer profiling, journey tracking, if you will. And we're going to talk about all those three things. And we have a lot of stuff that we're going to be launching on Dubb. So I can't say too much about it because it's not launched yet, but we promise to deliver. So please join us in that upcoming webinar. Please look in your email for the class, and then Ina can send that link in a moment here. There it is. Boom.
Right on.
Love it. And you guys, for anyone who wants that free training, I just want to make sure I don't miss you because I'm in California. I'm traveling right now, but I'm going to drop the link in the chat. It's kismetstoriesselling.com. Put your email in there. It's a free training there on like video funnels overall. And then anyone that submits that today, I'm going to reach back out with the additional training on requesting referrals and the automations. So grab that link in the chat, you guys, kismetstoriesselling.com, and just pop in there. That way I don't lose track of you. I would love to send that to you.
Absolutely.
And if you were with us, we would share these treats with you. We've got an eclair here. We've got some chocolate cake pops.
Desserts.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you. See you next time. Happy hump day. Bye-bye.
Kentucky's 39 degrees and it's about
29.
And it's about 60 here.
Yeah, it's glorious. Thank you for asking, John. It is so much warmer here.
Right. Okay, guys. See you later. We're out.
Thanks, guys.